Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You join me on a very wet, breezy Tuesday night. I've been busy with the usual chores of the day, but I've found time to continue work on the Blade Runner blaster, which I paused on for, well, obviously to do the TARDIS, the TV movie TARDIS, which obviously a few vlogs ago you can follow up on if you want to have a look, if you're just joining me now. But I've also started work on something I bought myself last Christmas. It was a 3D printed Obi Wan Lightsaber. But first, I'll show you where I am with the Blade Runner blaster right now. So this is where we are now. Although it doesn't look like much since the last update, it's a lot of prep work. So what we've done is polish these again with some plastic polish. These are the resin grips. They don't fit too well, so I'm going to have to do my best with those. This is the base, which I've sprayed with primer. It's got a nice smooth shine to it there. And obviously that bit there is for the handle, which is this here. Oh, yes, also I've put the triggers in. There, so they move. I could put a spring inside if I wanted to, but I'm not overly fussed, to be perfectly honest. But that just lines up lovely there, just to put that on there when I come to paint it. The other piece there, which sits on the receiver side here. This piece, the symbol on it, goes underneath here. Now this is the piece that I've painted silver today. Now this sits underneath the blaster here like this. Now as before with this black piece here, I spray it with primer, sand it, spray it with silver, leave it to cure for a few days, and then I spray it with the gloss black and then rub it off in places to reveal some of the silver underneath. I haven't sprayed the bottom yet because I wanted to fully wait until this silver cures so I can flip it over and then spray this. I've also left a couple of pieces of tape on there just so when I come to glue it to the barrel underneath here, it will have a non-paint surface to attach to, because paint gets in the way when you want to come to glue things. So that's where we are with this at the moment, the Blade Runner blaster. I'm not going to bother lighting the LEDs which go in the blaster, which go in these holes here, here, and one in there. These two holes here are for two silver screws, which I have, which I will put in when I finish painting it. As I said, I'm not going to bother lighting it. I don't think the kit thoroughly justifies the extra work, so I'm just going to paint it basically. That's where we are with that now. I'm quite pleased so far. But let me get to the lightsaber. And here it is. Now obviously this looks a very strange colour at the moment. This is just the primer. It's had quite a few coats of primer because this is a 3D printed piece. Now you might not be able to see now, but if I go in close, can you see those lines in the gaps there? Now those are obviously the 3D printing material. As you may remember from the Doctor Who Quark model that I made. Painted a while ago. 3D printing leaves a lot of lines and you can't get them out fully. You can only use filler and then primer and sanding to do what you can. You can only really tell once you pick up the prop and look at it really up close, to be perfectly honest. I mean, this is gonna, once I've painted this lightsaber, it's gonna sit on my shelf like this at a distance. I'm not going to see all these lines. Yes, I'm going to know they're there, but quite frankly, I don't care. It's, it's not too bad. And once I start painting it with the final top coat, weathering it with weathering details, you know, like rust and things like that, you're not really going to tell the difference. I did manage to completely eradicate the lines around this piece here, on these flat surfaces here, on the buttons. But you're just not going to get rid of all of them. Although you might be able to still see lines there. That's actually some of the filler that I've left up, that I've sanded in, which I'm going to go back over with a final coat of primer tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, of course. I'm quite pleased with the top here, where I'm running my finger around there. This outer edge here was actually a printed pattern, which I've managed to completely eradicate. So I'm pleased with that. But yeah, that's it. Oh yes, I also cast a clear part here, which slides in there. The kit didn't come with a clear piece, so I had to remold it and then cast it. This actual piece, I believe, was from an old calculator, and a vintage retro calculator, which they took out and then just put in the lightsaber like that because it looked like a very spacey type prop. And obviously, Graflex was, if you didn't already know, the lightsabers were made out of various parts, mainly from a flash gun from an old camera, a press photographer's camera. And Obi Wan's lightsaber had the Graflex piece here, and it actually had it on the piece there. This piece is from an old World War I or World War II grenade. Various exhaust parts, things like that, really. And this actually all deassembles, so you can unscrew this entire thing into its constituent parts. I mean, I'm twisting that piece off there. It unscrews. It comes off and just twists back on. I can completely disassemble it. It's been a godsend for painting it. So, yeah. There we go. So that's what I've been doing with this today. It's a very laborious thing, as you know, with if you saw my vlog with the Quark 3D printed model from Doctor Who. That was a very laborious thing. I went a bit far with that because obviously I'm a Doctor Who fan. I went a bit too far with it and kept going on and on and on with it. But this lightsaber, I'm really not going to go much further with this. Maybe a couple of coats of primer, a couple more coats of primer, a little bit more sanding, and then the final top coats of paint, and that's it really. And then the weathering. It sounds a lot, but it's not. I'm not going to go any further with filler and things like that. It's frankly not worth it. I mean, you can see these lines in between here now, but once I paint this its dark colour and then start weathering it, you're not going to see it. So there we go. The Blade Runner blaster. And the Obi Wan lightsaber. And that's where I am with that. Tomorrow I have some shopping to do and various other bits and bobs. If it doesn't rain, I will get back onto this tomorrow. Onto these props tomorrow, and you will see more work on them. So that being said, I am off, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.